With Infernal Cape, you're in the top 10? Chat, am I a top 10 RuneScape player because I have an Infernal Cape? Top 10%. Top 20. Okay. How many people? Okay, let's do some math real quick. Are we able to calculate what percentage of RuneScape players have gotten an Infernal Cape? Are we able to do this right now? How many people play RuneScape? How many active subs does RuneScape have? Let's do this. Let's do some math. No. 200K is how many people are online per day. That's concurrent online players. That means there's infinitely more players than that. No, we can factor in the people that bought their capes too. Okay, listen. Sticky note. Ready, guys? 147K fire capes since 2017. How many active RuneScape OSRS subscribers are there? There's no official total for active OSR subscribers. They don't release this data. However, recent reports suggest there are 1 million total members if you combined, with 170K concurrent players. In August, we hit a total of 240K concurrent, which would put OSRS around 650K to 770K members. This is members. This is people that pay for membership. I'd say about 1 million. 1 million active 1 million players. There's been 147K fire capes since 2017, right? 1 million people actively play the game. So how do we break this down? How many percent of fire capes are purchased? What percent? Inferno capes. Sorry. Are we going to say 40% of Infernal capes are purchased? It's more than that or less? Let's poll it. New poll. What percent buys an Infernal cape? What percentage buys an Infernal cape? 1 to 25, 25 to 49, 50 to 75, or more than 75%? Chat, are we really kidding me that 50% to 70% of players are buying their Infernal capes? Okay. Wow. Okay. We're just going to take the medium answer here. The medium answer here is literally 50% of capes are bought. That is the medium answer after all these polls. It's like 80 here, 80 here. All right, 50. No one's going to answer that. Okay. 147 Infernal capes since 2017. 50% of those capes are bought. How many people do you think have played RuneScape since 2017 to now? Is it more than 1 million? There's currently 1 million. Are we going to say that at least 3 million have played since 2017? Gotta be at least 3 times that, right? I'd say 3 million players since 2017 have tried RuneScape at least. Are we going to subtract bots? Are we going to subtract bots from this? I think we should. Let's say 3 million players since 2017. Okay. And then we're going to say what percent of the 3 million players are bots? Another 50%? Half bots or 40% bots? I think it's 40% bots. So we're going to say, I think it's 40% bots is what the actual statistic is. You know what? We'll say 50. So 1.5 million minus the 50% bots. This is very, okay. So we're going to say 75K capes, 1.5 million players since, so you take the 1.5 mil, divide that by 75,000, or you do 75 divided by 1.5 million to get the percentage, right? I think it's 75,000 divided by 1.5 million. Less than 1%, half of 1% of players have an Infernal. Is this 5%? This is 5%. I read that wrong. 5% of players. 5% of players have an Infernal cape. There you go. Top 5% if you have one. Top 5. We just calculated it right there. And how many of those players have it on more than one account? You got to subtract them too. Wait a second. Could be a lot of people having it on multiple accounts. So we're going to say less than 5% of players. Less than 5% of players have Infernal capes. Maybe it's closer to 4%. Is that greater than? Less than. I know a lot of you guys are impressed with this math right now. A lot of you guys are probably saying, Sard, have you done math before? And that answer is no. But I am glad that you guys are impressed. Hell yeah. Type shit. Yeah, the math teacher, she kind of liked me, man. The math teacher, me and her go way back. She was nice. She let me sit at the front of the class and do nothing. I let her wear my jersey to the game. It was a good exchange, you know? I didn't have to do shit. I'm pretty sure I failed that class, but I didn't fail. So, W Miss Smith. Hey, being an athlete had its perks. I ain't gonna lie. Oh yeah, and what percentage of those capers are Iron Men? It would be way less. Less than 5% of all RuneScape accounts ever created have Infernal Cape. Is it impossible to determine the exact percentage? Only accounts created since 2017. Dang, Tech! My math was spot on. That is crazy. Less than 5% of accounts ever created have gotten an Infernal Cape. A lot of those are dupe accounts of people who already have them, and a lot of them are purchased. So it's less than 5% of people have actually that have ever played RuneScape have actually gotten their Infernal Cape legitimately. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say it's actually closer to like 2%. It's probably about 2% of players who have ever played RuneScape have actually earned an Infernal Cape. That's just some quick math. Not 5%, 0. You guys are saying less than 1%. Wait, you're saying you're saying 0.46%? Oh, damn. You're saying a fraction of players who have ever played RuneScape. This number right here, 0.46%. 0.046%. Damn. 0.046% of accounts. That includes free to play though, which don't even have a chance to get it, right? But that balances out with people, that will balance out a bit with people who have purchased capes, but also bots will inflate that number too. So it might be higher than that. And that's a lot of inactive accounts and accounts that were created that never even logged in. All right, so that number is a bit deflated. Is it frowned upon for buying a cape? It's not only frowned upon, it's against the TOS and you can get banned for it. And a lot of people have. Does it stop anybody from doing it? Maybe a few. It's safe to say that if you have an Infernal Cape, you're in the top 5 players to ever play RuneScape. Okay, we'll take that. We'll take that. Top 5 players. No, top 5%. It would be insanely interesting to get an actual number of players who paid for cape versus didn't do it themselves. I'd love to see that, but there's no way, right? I mean, the thing is, if Jagex had that information, they'd ban all those accounts. Those accounts would be gone. That would be obviously sick to know, but you just kind of, I think right now we're chalking it up to 40% of those capes are purchased. Actually, chat thinks it's 50%. Chat literally thinks it's 50%. Apparently, there was some statistic back in 2019 that 90% of capes were purchased because back then it was too hard for people to do. Can a bot do Inferno? Yes. So why did we take bots out of that equation then? They have AI bots. An expensive bot can do an Inferno. Oh my God, I didn't even think about this problem. Guys, remember we were talking about super intelligence taking over the world? Pretty soon, AI will be able to pilot your character and just do things for you in the game. Shit, that already happens, but like advanced things in the game. Are we cooked? Is everything just cooked? Guys, I was using WoW Glider to level my WoW account when I was 15 years old in TBC and Wrath of the Lich King. I put it in a circle and it would farm 6 mobs and it would sit down when it needed to heal. And once it was at full health, it'd stand back up and kill the mob. I'd wake up in the morning, I'd be 3 levels higher. I've been doing that since I was like, I did that when I was 15. That's how I leveled my WoW accounts back then. That's crazy. Now it's to the point where it can literally do Coliseum for you. This is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it would be fun to program an Inferno bot. I guess from a challenge standpoint, it's almost like a game in itself for a developer or a programmer to try and see if you could beat the Inferno without touching the computer. That's a crazy way of looking at it, but you get banned for that. That's why a lot of people make bots. It's almost like another game that you're playing. It's like a development. It's like a developer version of beating like a bot developer game. Somebody who's a developer, they're trying to beat the game without touching the keyboard or the mouse. Wait a second, that could be a new settled series. I beat RuneScape without touching the keyboard or the mouse. Holy crap! Somebody get settled on the horn. That's crazy. No foot pedal. So in order to beat RuneScape without touching my keyboard or my mouse or any other forms of inputs into the computer, I needed to become a developer and learn how to develop a bot that can play the game for me. And for this challenge, I used this coding software in order to program the best tiles for me to stand on that gave the maximum chances of survivability. Today, we're going to take a look at RoboCop 3.0. And before we start today's video, I want to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, AG1. Today's sponsor is sponsored by ChatGPT. This seems oddly well scripted already. Guys, I'm just like that. All right, I'm just a YouTuber.